Welcome back, my fallout-facing foot floaters, my scenario-spinning street strategists, my chaos-calibrated concrete survivors. Hobo Yeti here from a quiet slice of curb that's seen enough normal days to not trust them anymore, currently watching a plastic bag achieve spiritual enlightenment in the wind. Today, we're stepping into the big hypothetical, the moment everything tilts sideways. The systems hiccup, the routines crack, the neat little schedules go on vacation without telling anyone, and suddenly the question shows up, who's better off? The hobo already living outside the system, or the average Joe with a house, a job, a fridge full of polite optimism, and maybe a family depending on it? Turns out, it's not a clean answer. It's a strange trade-off, like comparing a lifeboat to someone who already learned how to swim in questionable water. 1. Dependency on systems. The average person often relies heavily on structured systems, utilities, supply chains, routines that function smoothly until they don't. When those systems falter, the disruption is immediate and disorienting. A hobo, already operating with minimal reliance on those systems, may feel less shock initially. The adjustment curve is different, not necessarily easier, just more familiar. When the system breaks, one loses support, the other loses something they weren't using anyway. 2. Adaptability baseline. A hobo typically lives in a state of constant adjustment, making decisions based on shifting conditions day by day. That adaptability becomes a built-in skill. The average person may adapt as well, but often starts from a more stable baseline that suddenly disappears, requiring a faster learning curve under pressure. One adapts because they have to, the other adapts because now they must. 3. Resource availability. The average person may begin with more stored resources, food, supplies, shelter, creating an initial advantage. A hobo with limited storage capacity often starts with less material security. Over time, though, resource management skills can shift the balance depending on how conditions evolve. One starts with more, the other knows how to stretch less. 4. Mobility versus stability. Mobility gives a hobo flexibility to move away from worsening conditions, adjust location, and avoid concentrated problems. The average person, tied to a home or responsibilities, may have less freedom to relocate quickly. However, stability can also provide a controlled environment if it remains secure. One can leave when needed, the other has something worth staying for. 5. Knowledge of uncertainty. Living without consistent stability builds familiarity with uncertainty. A hobo often operates without guarantees, making unpredictable conditions less shocking. The average person may face a steeper psychological shift when certainty disappears suddenly. One already knows the ground can shift, the other just felt it move. 6. Responsibility load. An individual traveling alone carries responsibility primarily for themselves. The average person may be responsible for others, family, dependents, which adds complexity to every decision. That responsibility can both motivate and limit available options. It's one thing to survive alone, it's another to carry survival for others. 7. Shelter differences. A house provides immediate protection, storage, and a controlled space, offering a significant advantage if it remains safe. A hobo relies on temporary shelter, which can be less secure but more flexible. The value of each depends on how conditions develop. One has walls to defend, the other has space to move. 8. Situational awareness. Hobos often maintain continuous awareness of surroundings, reading environments for subtle changes. This habit can transfer well into unstable situations. The average person may develop this awareness quickly, but it often starts at a lower baseline. One already scans the horizon, the other just started looking up. 9. Social dynamics. Established social networks can provide support, resources, and cooperation, giving the average person an advantage in numbers. A hobo may operate more independently, which reduces reliance, but also limits immediate support. Both approaches carry strengths and vulnerabilities. One has a network, the other has autonomy. 10. Long-term sustainability. Over time, both lifestyles face challenges in a disrupted environment. The average person's initial advantages may diminish without systems, while a hobo's adaptability may become more valuable. Sustainability depends on how well each can adjust to ongoing change. In the long run, survival favors whoever learns fastest. So there it is, the hobo and the average Joe, two starting points colliding with the same unpredictable scenario. One begins with experience and instability, the other with resources and structure. Neither holds a guaranteed advantage, just different tools and different challenges. And somewhere in that overlap is the real answer. Not who starts better off, but who adapts when the rules stop making sense. I hope your road is a good one, and if you're homeless, I hope it doesn't suck for you. And remember, when everything changes, the only real advantage is how quickly you change with it. Peace. If you'd like to support what I'm doing here at Hobo Road, I want to be honest about what that means. A lot of this channel is built from a tent, from a phone screen, from library computers, from borrowed outlets, weak signals, and whatever battery percentage survived the day. It's not some polished studio operation with sponsors and assistants. It's one guy trying to create something useful, thoughtful, and real from the margins. The books haven't made much money. Most of this doesn't pay in profit. It pays in purpose, stubbornness, and occasionally additional poverty. But I keep doing it because I believe homelessness survival awareness matters, and because some of you have told me it matters to you too. If you'd like to help keep that road lit a little longer, there are a few ways. You can support directly through PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, or Patreon using the links below. You can also join the channel membership for $1.99 a month, which gets you loyalty badges next to your name, custom emojis, and member perks in comments and live chats. You can pick up my books, The Weight of Silence, the Homeless Survival Handbook ebook, the audiobook on Google Play, or order a physical copy through lulu.com with the link below. You can also grab some merch. Every little bit genuinely helps more than you know, and I appreciate it.